Hello, it's Thursday. I'm on call. I'm mulling something over, a concept that I don't really know how to resolve. It's just an interesting concept I've been mulling over, which is expectation. Expectation to me is one of those interesting, dual-edged swords of sorts. Swords of sorts. So expectation to me can be amazing or terrible. Amazing in that I like managing expectations in a good way, right? I'm a big fan of preemptive knowledge, which I think is a way of managing expectations in a good way. This whole platform to me is preemptive knowledge. I love to tell you guys things so that you know it ahead of time, so you understand it. Because I think if I give you more information, that's good, and I present both sides of a coin, then you're not blindsided. Isn't that great? On the flip side, if you set up someone's expectations too high, that's to me the negative aspect of expectation. Here's what I mean. It makes me think every time I'm on call, because I hear a lot in the realm of the mothering. I hear a lot of sadness and negativity and disappointment when it comes to women feeling upset about the disconnect between what they thought was going to happen versus what actually happened. Whether it is how they thought pregnancy was going to go, how they thought labor was going to go, how they thought the delivery was going to go, how they thought the nursing was going to go, how they thought the postpartum period was going to go, how they thought their partner was going to be. I mean, we could extrapolate this out to how they thought life was going to be, how they thought their marriage potentially was going to be, right? I mean, all those things. So it's not just being a mother, but this is the microcosm of it all, right? And it's often expressed it's just not how I thought it would go, or that's not what I expected. And it's because what you expect is these very defined vignettes that the interwebs or a book or, unfortunately, other people have told you or kind of had dictated to you of how it's going to go. This is what you should expect, or this is what you should tell people you want, especially when it comes to, don't get me started, I've done a lot of videos about birth plans and stuff. You are in control, and this is what you get to decide you want, right? And people try to tell you that you get to be in control of these things that unfortunately, you're really not in control of. There's certain things you're not in control of when it comes to pregnancy, labor, delivery, nursing. Certain things you are in control of, right? You get to pick certain things. You get to pick, kind of when you get pregnant, kind of. You don't always get to pick if that pregnancy sticks. You don't get to pick a lot of things, right? But you can pick certain things. You get to pick the outwards. You can pick, who your doctor is. You can pick what city you live in. You can pick which hospital you go to. You can pick, a lot of the very, very physical parts of it. And I think those make you feel in control. And I think you should take control of the things that you can feel in control of, so that we have a semblance of things. That's important for us as humans. And then I think because of that, we can then, if we're being mature, relinquish control of the things that we cannot control. That's the only healthy way I believe we can move forward. Because if we try to control the things that we cannot control, then we become unhealthy. And then we start to dwell on the things but that's not how I thought it would go. But that was not what I expected. But I didn't think it would be this way. And it's because, again, we have an unrealistic view, because our expectations have been set that somehow someone made us believe, or we let ourselves believe, that we could control the uncontrollable, right? People led us, or again, we allowed ourselves to believe that, for example, we could control every single thing about when we got pregnant, how the pregnancy was going to go, how the labor was going to go. And that because we determined that, for example, we were going to have an unmedicated vaginal birth without a perineal laceration or tear. That means your vagina didn't tear, by the way, for those of you who don't know the vernacular. And the baby was going to latch, and we were going to breastfeed for an entire year. And when none of those things went according to our plan, our outcome did not meet our expectation. Ergo, we were disappointed. Things were not good, right? So what just happened there? We had our expectation, and the reality did not meet our expectation. Now, whoever led us to that expectation and created that expectation, or why we allowed ourselves to believe that that expectation was completely realistic and was in all of our control, when there's so many variables that can change all those factors, that's the issue, right? Now, instead, had we allowed ourselves to say there are certain things we can control, right? We can control, again, very physical factors like what practice we choose or where we're going to birth, blah, 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 blah. We're going to make efforts to have a vaginal birth by doing X, Y, Z. We're going to be in good physical health. We're going to, the things that you could do. That's a different discussion, right? We're going to be open-minded to the concepts that we can control certain things, but we can't control other things. We're going to be open-minded to the good parts and the bad parts. We're going da, 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 da. We're going to be open-minded to the fact that there are no all is good, all is bad, nothing is ever only, everything is always and that in the end, as long as we have providers that we care about, we have partners that we care about, we will reach good outcomes, then we will not be disappointed. Because then our expectation was not one fixed outcome, other than the fixed outcome being generally a healthy, happy outcome, as opposed to a fixed outcome being a vaginal birth in our first spontaneous pregnancy that was achieved without a miscarriage, without fertility help, through a vaginal unmedicated birth with breast milk for a year, right? That's such a fixed outcome that no one can guarantee it. And when you have that fixed outcome as an expectation, of course you can see how disappointment could easily ensue. Whereas instead, if you said, my general idea is that I would like to be a mother sometime in the next couple of years. I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. It might be spontaneous pregnancy. It might be with help. It might be vaginal birth. It might be C-section. It might be, I might have some miscarriage. I might not. I might, there's so many different permutations as to how I'm going to reach that outcome. Therefore, the expectation, and I'm using birth, by the way, it could be anything. This could be with regard to, am I going to be a doctor or not? Am I going to get married or not? Am I going to be a teacher or not? Am I going to live in America or somewhere else? It could be anything. But you see that when our expectation is so specific, sometimes it's really damaging. And sometimes with regard to, again, anything in our lives that we allow other people to put these expectations on us. Now, the reason I'm confused and I am reaching out to my Instagram community to help me, how do I resolve this? Because I also very much believe in manifesting. And sometimes when it comes to manifesting, you actually do really want to be specific. You want to manifest. You want to believe. You want to have something that you kind of picture. Now, my response to myself is, well, manifesting doesn't just have to do with one picture in your mind. You actually have to believe a whole ideology of manifesting, which is, if you don't know about it, you have to kind of really understand it and read about it. But there's a lot of different things. You have to believe in a lot of goodness. You really have to believe in gratitude. You have to express a lot of different practices. So it's not just like picture a Ferrari and a Ferrari's going to show up. That's like the wrong idea of manifesting. But again, expectation is fraught with amazing qualities and yet a lot of challenges. On the flip side of expectation, and the good aspects of expectation, is this notion that if we improve expectation by improving delivering information to people preemptively, then we will actually decrease so much anxiety. Imagine in the realm of life, if we said to kids before they graduate from college or before they even go to college, guess what? I say this, by the way, to girls in my office all the time. Because people who see me now as a physician think, oh, you must have always wanted to be a doctor. This must be what you live for. Hell no. You might have heard my story if you've been on my Instagram long enough. I didn't know I wanted to be a doctor until I finished college, and then I took pre-meds, right? So imagine if we said to people beforehand, you might not know when you're 16 or 18 or 22 what you want to do, and that might be okay. You might be one of those people who knows, but you might not. And that's okay. So preemptively setting up the expectation that some people know and some people don't. That might be a good expectation to set up, right? So again, expectation is such a double-edged sword. So I'm grappling with it today. I don't know why it's been in my mind a lot, because expectations, I find, can just create such a level of beauty if we set it up, where people can be like, oh, that's such a relief to know that the expectation doesn't have to be everyone goes through life knowing exactly what's going to happen to them. But the expectation can be really just too much when people have a very set and fixed situation. So with all that, what I'm telling you is I like to use expectation in a good way. I want to use expectation in a way where I can, again, preemptively teach people the things that I can help so that when they're going to encounter a situation, I can broadly describe a myriad of topics that they may encounter in a way that is not at all scary, because I hate the scary, in a way that introduces them to multiple different avenues that they may have to traverse so that they, in fact, don't have any one set expectation, right? For example, you're going to have a baby. I don't know how that baby's going to come out. So my expectation is, in fact, completely varied. At the beginning of this journey, what I am telling you is that my expectation is only that this baby is going to come out of your body, but I, as your doctor, still have no idea how it's going to come out. Meaning, even if I'm inducing you right now and I expect the baby's going to come out sometime in the next 24 to 36 hours, I don't know when, and I don't know how. Could come out of your vagina, could come out of your belly, could come out today, could come out tomorrow. And I know that sounds so fuzzy and random and like flaky, but I'd rather broaden your expectation rather than narrow it so that you actually understand that either which way is going to be okay. And I deeply believe that if I'm doing my job appropriately and correctly, I can all at once open the expectations, give you so much information with broad expectations, but deliver in a way that says to you, I'm giving you so many expectations, but I'm not confusing you. I'm actually making it so clear to you that with all these expectations comes the notion that, in fact, it's all still going to be okay. Because despite all these expectations, it might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be vaginal, it might be C-section. There might be some calamitous shit that hits the fan in the next 24 to 36 hours. But that in the end, it's actually all going to be okay. And if we can use that as a paradigm for life, like, hey kid, guess what? I don't know if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a painter, a poet. I don't know if you're going to deliver garbage for the rest of your life. I don't know if you're going to live 30 years or 80 years. I don't know if you're going to get married or not. I don't know if you're going to have one stray puppy or 12 purebred Dalmatians. But here's what I know. If you stay the course and you have faith and you actually are kind and gracious and you surround yourself by people that you love, it's actually going to be okay. I'm going to open up your mind and broaden it and just say all this shit could happen, but in the end, it's actually going to be okay. And I know that sounds crazy because between here and there, some crazy calamitous shit might happen, but it could be okay. And I'm actually saying this to myself today as much as I'm saying it to you because a bunch of crap has transpired in the last 24 hours, some of which is just not good in my microcosm of my world. Not health stuff, I'm healthy, I'm fine. Just stuff that has gone on. And it's going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. Okay? So that's what we all need to remember. All right, people. Those are my nuggets for the day. Tomorrow we will get back to some OBGYN-ing. Okay?